Hello, magnificent, phenomenal, radiant you. This time of the year is so special for me because it's the time of the year that I celebrate an anniversary with my life partner, my husband, amazing being that he is. But it's also a time that our family, instead of talking about resolutions, we talk about, thanks to my husband, how are we evolving? What's our evolution? Where do we want to grow and expand? And how are we making an intention and a decision to do so? And so recently when we all gathered together, we have a young adult and a teenager. And so we were all talking, and a theme that came up was, how can we go deeper into being kind to ourselves and kind to other people? I mean, when I look around this world, there's a lot of emphasis on what's going wrong, but deep down I know that there is more that is well that takes place if we're willing to look. And if anything that I believe is that kindness, it grows exponentially as we extend it, as we receive it, as we're partakers of kindness, that it's contagious. So we said, how do we really want to go deeper into being kind in this year to ourselves and to other people? And then we talked about, how can we go deeper into really believing in ourselves? Because if left alone to just absorb what's put out around us, we would be filled with tons of self-doubt and worry about making mistakes and failure and all that can go wrong, because that's what we're steeped in. We're steeped into a culture that focuses in a large part on not being enough. And so when we remember that we're not the product of just the culture, but there's a part of us that is so amazing, and yes, magnificent, phenomenal, and radiant, and that is within us already. And when we tune into that and let that come through, then we're in the place where we want to be. And I call that the flow. And I'll talk more about the flow in a moment. But back to believing in ourselves. I talk about my work with clients, or when I'm doing a retreat or a session, seminar, and I find that when I ask the question, what are we most afraid of, that has nothing to do with the external. So no, it's not, worrying about falling or a spider or snakes or anything like that. When we talk about, which, when we really slow it down, there's nothing externally. Well, I guess there's some things externally to be afraid of, but for the large part, the big fear is within us. And usually when I make a list of what either an individual or a collective group of people in a room, when we ask that question, what is it within us that we're most afraid of? What makes the top part of that list is afraid of not fulfilling our purpose, afraid of playing small, afraid of not doing what I was here to do. And so that goes back to what we talked about as a family, that instead of being worried about not fulfilling it, let's grow and deepen in how we believe in ourselves. Because if anything, we know as we believe more in ourselves, as our self-concept grows, everything else grows as an extension of that. How we look at the world, how we look at other people, when we believe more in who we are, which is connected to everything, to all of life. But now, as I ask the question of, are you living that life? Are you living in connection with your purpose? Are you living knowing that each day, each breath is a part of fulfilling what you're here to fulfill and do? Or are you going through motions? And if we're not careful, we can easily go through motions. Or many times we can be stuck in the past of what went wrong, of who hurt us, who betrayed us, what wound still exists deep down that we're trying to cover up with an accomplishment or by staying busy enough that we don't focus on it anymore. And instead I ask, are you ready to enter not into a place of stuffing things or going through the motions, but are you ready to enter into a place that I call the flow? And that flow is from the inside out. That flow is our inner compass. It's the knowing of who we are and what we're called to be doing on this journey, which is being connected, not just to our friends and family or just to our life, but being connected to life as a whole. And so I'm offering a course called The Flow. It's a certification course, and for people who know that they're here to be helping other people in any capacity, as a leader, as a parent, as a coach, fill in the blank. But if you know that you're called to be helping other people, which I would dare say is most, if not all of us, then this course, phase 1, is really that beginning stage where we look at what is our flow when it comes to our journey, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to healing those old parts of ourselves that get in the way, and when it comes to our spiritual connection to life, not just our cerebral connection to life. Where's the flow? And it's going to be amazingly unique for each of us, and yet there are some common, phenomenal threads that are universal. And so if that appeals to you, I invite you to consider joining us on this journey of the flow. If you're tired of letting fear override how you look at life and make decisions, if you're tired of going through life focused on the rearview mirror, if you're ready to be connected to the more that already exists within you, if you're ready to live a life that is in harmony with what your inner self already believes and knows, if you're ready to expand and to grow and to stop playing small and living in a small frame, but ready to see bigger and live in that way. And if you're ready to say that life is more than an accomplishment and all the things that I may have around me, but I'm really ready to go deeper and to be a part of this life in a way that is truly meaningful, then I invite you to consider being a part of the flow. You can find more about it on my website. But most of all, I invite you to join me and my family and many others that I'm talking with and partnering with. What would it look like if we wrap up this year of 2018? We're just at the beginning of it, but if we can look at the end and say that we lived each moment in 2018 being kinder, going deeper into kindness towards ourselves and others, and whatever that may look like. Maybe that looks like letting someone pass you in the grocery line. Maybe it looks like more time with neighbors. Maybe it means listening to yourself and to your body when it says rest or reach out to someone. But how can we go deeper in kindness? Because it is exponential in growth. It's contagious when we commit to it. And then how can I go deeper in believing in myself? And what does it look like if I really believed in myself and let go of the doubt and the worry and the fear of what someone else will say or how I'll be understood or what if I'm rejected? And we let go of all of that. What would it look like? So I invite you to do those two things. And again, if it appeals to you, please consider participating in the Journey of the Flow. It's an online course. I guess I didn't say that. It's online. You can participate live with us online. It'll also be streamed because all of our lives are busy. We're in different time zones. And if you don't start when we start on January the 7th, you can still start after that point. Just let me know if this appeals to you and I'll share more details. But thank you for your time. Thank you for saying yes to this day and to life. And thank you for being the phenomenal, magnificent, radiant you that you are.